Hey, this is Jordan with TYT and TYT Network here in Claddy, New York on Wednesday, February 17th. My video blog for the day. The polls are looking good for Donald Trump. In a South Carolina poll by Monmouth University, Trump is at 35%. Ted Cruz is at 19%. Marco Rubio is at 17%. Kasich is at 9%, Bush at 8%, Carson at 7%. What's interesting about this poll, it came out before the news today that very, very popular South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley will endorse Senator Rubio. So Trump's victory in South Carolina might not be as big. We'll see. The Democrats in South Carolina, an ARG poll, has Hillary Clinton with a pretty devastating lead over Senator Sanders, 61% to 31%. Bernie has about a week and a half. I think he could close that, but he probably is looking at a double-digit loss to Hillary in South Carolina. And Nevada, obviously, on Saturday, which comes before the Democratic race in South Carolina. If he wins that, that's going to help him build momentum into South Carolina, but he's most likely going to lose. Nevada, the Republican race in Nevada, a CNN ORC poll has Trump at 45% and Rubio next at 19%, with Cruz at 17%. So it's Trump all the way in most of these polls. Democratic poll in Nevada is pretty much tied. You have Hillary with a 1-point lead over Senator Sanders. So it's a margin of error in Nevada right now with the Democratic side, and Bernie has done a lot more TV ads and a lot more outreach over the last week or so in Nevada. So he could close that gap, and if he wins Nevada, that's a lot of momentum. You have him almost winning in New Hampshire. You have him almost winning in Iowa, have him kicking her butt in New Hampshire, and then an upset in Nevada. You start to change the narrative a lot that, yeah, maybe Hillary isn't going to do as well as her campaign has said in non-white states. Nevada has a lot of Latinos, for example. Nationally, interestingly enough, a Quinnipiac poll of Democrats has Hillary at 44 and Sanders at 42. So Clinton's only up by 2 points, which again is margin of error. And among the GOP, nationally speaking, Trump's at 39, Rubio's next at 19, and Cruz is at 18. So, I'd say Donald Trump has to do X to fall down, but pretty much nothing he's done has hurt him. Anything controversial has only helped him. So, it looks like it's Trump's world, and we're all just living in it on the Republican side. I do think the things he's doing now are going to really blow up in his face if he wins the nomination, because you really can't moonwalk your way back from the majority of things he's said and done. So we'll see. An interesting piece I'd encourage you to read was Nate Silver, the pollster from 538, came out with a piece titled Bernie Sanders' Path to the Nomination. Basically, he has a chart. It shows the likelihood of each candidate winning individual states. And on the right side, he has the likelihood of who will win each state if nationally they're tied, which right now they're basically tied. Silver's projections show Hillary Clinton winning Nevada by 3 points and South Carolina by 11 points. But they also show Bernie Sanders winning Minnesota, which is a caucus state, by 17 points, and Colorado, which is another caucus state, by 13 points. On Super Tuesday, Silver wrote, Clinton is likely to compile lots of delegates from the 7 southern states that vote on Super Tuesday, although Oklahoma, which is somewhat Midwestern and relatively white, might be Sanders' best shot at an upset. Sanders should win Vermont by a huge margin. That leaves the Minnesota caucus, the Colorado caucus, and the Massachusetts primary as the races to watch. They're the sorts of states Sanders absolutely needs to win to have a shot at taking the nomination. Silver also wrote, Bernie has favorable terrain in late March. Quote, a series of western states vote between March 22nd and March 9th, as does Wisconsin. Almost all of them figure to be favorable to Sanders, including Wisconsin, where he was already almost tied with Clinton in the polls before his New Hampshire win. A possible exception is Arizona, where Clinton beat Barack Obama in 2008 and where the electorate can be tricky to predict. Tonight, there's two competing town hall events, one on MSNBC and one on CNN. At 8 o'clock, MSNBC is airing a town hall where the co-hosts of Morning Joe, Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, are interviewing Donald Trump. What's interesting about that is Joe Scarborough has been heavily criticized among fellow journalists for his cushy relationship with Trump. Morning Joe has had him on almost on a weekly basis, sometimes even daily, and have been pretty friendly to him, I would say. So I do think you'll probably see Scarborough in particular be tough on him to kind of flip that perception that he is in the tank for Trump. I'm sure an hour of Trump with the two co-hosts and talking to audience members from the audience, you'll probably see one or two Trump bombs, as they say, and the media will, chase it like they have, and he'll dominate the cycle for another day. So pretty much this is the script with Donald. He makes himself available, says an outrageous thing, and the media covers him for 2 or 3 days, drowning out the competition. That's why he's leading as much as he is. On CNN, they're having the first night of their town hall with Anderson Cooper. They're interviewing Ben Carson, then Ted Cruz, then Marco Rubio. Same format, candidates talking to the moderator as well as audience members. So that should be interesting. On TYT Politics today, a new video went up, my extended interview with The Nation's John Nichols. He's a great writer, and we talked a lot about the media coverage of the campaign. It's on the longer side, so get your cup of coffee or tea or alcohol, whatever's your vice, and watch it. I think it's about 25 minutes. And we also put up a bunch of new interviews up on the TYT Politics channel over the last few days. So definitely check that out. And myself and Eric will be headed to South Carolina on Friday. We're going to be doing some interviews leading up to the South Carolina primary for the GOP. So we'll be doing interviews, tackling some African-American issues, some other things, and then covering the Republican primary there, which is on Saturday. So youtube.com/TYT Politics, and keep on watching.